It feels like overnight the world just got painfully expensive. The groceries, the power bills, the price of a decent coffee, everything. And most people think that eating well for their gut health has to cost a fortune as well. But the truth is, some of the top foods to improve your gut are sitting in your local supermarket for under $5. All these things you can throw easily into the meals that you're already making. They just don't have the fancy Instagram packaging, but they do have the backing by scientists. And I should know because finding these simple solutions to everyday health concerns is literally my job. I'm both a chef and a university-educated clinical nutritionist. And have you secretly wondered, is this just who I am now? Because you can be that full of energy version of yourself again. And it's not your fault, but it might have something to do what's in your shopping trolley. So today, my friends, I'll be showing you what I actually eat myself and for my family pretty much every day. And stick around to the end because I'm also covering one of the best foods to feed your essential birth microbes. These are the foundational species that are quietly disappearing from modern guts. And their loss is linked to rising rates of autoimmune diseases, allergies, and other chronic illnesses. Hi, I'm Leilani, and if you're new here, this channel is about making real gut health accessible to everyone, not just my private clients. So yeah, you can have more energy for your family, you can fit into the clothes you used to wear, and actually start feeling like yourself again. Okay, let's get into it. I want to start with the one staple most people eat every week, but are getting it wrong. So it becomes a blood sugar spike instead of a gut health win. And one simple change can make it 10 times more gut friendly. It's rice. So how do you transform these little gorgeous pearls of deliciousness? Well, you're gonna cook it and then you'll stir through a spoon of coconut oil. Then you need to refrigerate it overnight before you eat it. And yes, it can be reheated again. Now, when rice cools, the starch recrystallizes into more of a retrograde or resistant starch. This is a form that your small intestine can't digest. So it travels down your colon intact and it feeds your most important butyrate producing species. So I call these your microbiome mates. And butyrate is like liquid gold for your gut and your body and your brain. A 2022 clinical trial showed the peak glucose dropped significantly with cooled and reheated rice versus the fresh rice. And if you want to add even more fiber, mix in some black or red rice into the white rice. I buy the packet stuff, wash it, then add it straight to the white rice to cook. So you get the positive effects, but they compound even more. So for me, health is not about cutting out every food you love, but it is about preparing it better. And that's what I study. And I've just done a full talk on how to make rice gut healing instead of body harming. And I'll link it right here so you can check it out after. Use this day-old rice in, say, fried rice or sushi bowl. Delmades has got it. A rice salad is a good idea. Or just put it under the base of whatever protein you're eating. Okay, so moving on to one of the best cheap prebiotic powerhouses. These next 3 food groups I add to pretty much every meal. Most of my daily meals, because not only do they make the meals stretch further and become more economical, but their prebiotics act as the food that feeds your beneficial gut microbiome. And it really only adds an extra minute of prep time. So first up, beans. Beans are like your introverted best mate. They hide in the back of the pantry, but they're actually a prebiotic powerhouse. If you prepare them correctly, more on that in just a sec. I'm talking lentils, chickpeas, black beans. Has anyone out there tried butter beans? What do you do with them? Let me know in the comments. The fiber in the beans directly feeds bifidobacterium, and your butyrate producers. So it's a big win. And I throw them into nachos or curries, enchiladas, salads. And when I'm making spaghetti bolognese, I actually use 1/3 mince, 1/3 veg, and 1/3 lentils. My family can't tell the difference. But you've just turned a regular dinner into a gut and immune boosting meal. And you can even get 100% legume-based pasta now. And the edamame one is my absolute favorite. And my family have no idea it has no gluten. Now, if beans do bloat you, there is an ancient prep technique that helps around 90% of my clients stop reacting to them altogether. And you'll find it in my Prep Like a Pro cheat sheet, and I'll link that below. And you'll get that plus a whole library of my private clinical gut health sheets to make gut health doable every day. So you can join for free. Okay, now moving along to another go-to gut boosting supermarket staple, coleslaw. And I know it sounds basic, but hear me out. This is a 3-tier gut boost in an already done for you pack. And here's what goes into mine and why each ingredient earns its place. Red cabbage, that feeds Akkermansia. This is the microbe that strengthens and waterproofs your gut lining from the inside. Raw carrot, think of this as your colon's broom. The insoluble fiber physically sweeps the gut wall, and it binds to excess estrogen and bacterial endotoxins in transit, so takes them out. And spring onion. So this feeds Bifidobacterium, one of your gut's most beneficial species. And it's also the one depleted in women dealing with the bloating and fatigue. So you're not just eating one thing, you're feeding different families in your gut ecosystem at the same time. Now, I use it as a wrap filling. I bulk it into Asian stir fry. I throw it over rice in a Buddha bowl, or sometimes I just have it as a side. And ideally make your own dressing. But hey, I know we can't be perfect all the time. And I'm certainly not. I actually believe in balance. I eat and drink whatever I want on the weekends. And I eat clean during the week. And when you have a good gut ecosystem, your body becomes so much more resilient. So that weekend wine or the sourdough pizza doesn't send everything sideways. And on that note, before I get into the cheapest and most underestimated food on this list, I want to address something I feel is important because I see it every day in clinic. If you're time poor and tired and you're eating less and still putting on weight more and more every year, and you're bloating and you're brain foggy every day, most of the time the root cause is actually something a lot deeper, like gut dysbiosis or sometimes SIBO. And the thing about dysbiosis is that it doesn't fix itself. It actually gets worse and the symptoms build up. And then you become so depleted, it becomes harder and harder to treat. And that is my job. So for those who don't have the budget for private sessions, I have put together a complete roadmap. It's called my Gut Reset and Repair Program. And it has the exact step-by-step clinical protocol that I use with my private clients. Plus it's got 4-day meal plans built around your favorite meals and the top science-backed gut foods. And I'm talking nachos. Shopping list, all of it. And it is designed for busy people. So if that sounds like you, there's more information in the description below. Okay, moving on to one of the most underestimated gut health additions in the kitchen, the humble onion. Actually, the whole allium family, leeks, garlic, shallots, spring onions as well. And people walk past them every day in the supermarket without realizing they carry some of the most studied prebiotic fiber in the literature. Should you have it raw or cooked? Raw wins for prebiotics, but if raw onion is too sharp for you, you can try by slicing your onion and putting it into a glass of cold water for say 15 minutes before. It just kind of takes the bite right out of it without losing the benefits. And then you can throw it onto a salad or on top of tacos into that coleslaw. That said, cooked onions are still worthwhile and they can make a meaningful work for your microbiome. They're low effort, they're cheap, and they're genuinely high return. Now here's the part that most gut health content skips entirely. And it's one of the most important things for you to know. I want you to think of your gut microbiome like a kingdom. The common species, Bifidobacteria, Lactobacillus, these are your soldiers. But every kingdom also needs bin collectors, they need teachers, they need cooks. And these species doing those quieter but still essential jobs, like breaking down certain foods, regulating inflammation, producing compounds your brain runs on. And when their food supply disappears because you're not eating it, they can't do their critical job. And when their numbers drop low because you're not feeding them enough, the Stanford research confirms they go extinct. And a lot of the time, you can't regrow them. Their function and them are just gone forever. So what are one of the best sources that feeds those smaller and essential hard to reach microbes, including some of our most important birth microbes that we're losing generationally? I think that's it. Mushrooms. And you don't need much, okay? The beta-glucans in the mushroom actually feed the microbial niches that common plant fibers sometimes don't reach. So things like crimini, Swiss brown mushrooms, they're accessible to pretty much everyone, and they can be your starting point. And then you can move up to things like lion's mane or turkey tail or shiitake or reishi. You're feeding progressively rarer species. Diversity is always important, so mix up the varieties, week by week, month by month. Different mushrooms feed different species. And if you don't like the texture, you can chop them really finely and just throw them into sauce because they pretty much just disappear. Or you can put, say, half a teaspoon of mushroom powder into your coffee or your hot chocolate or something that you're going to drink. It's just that simple. Coming up, two of the most affordable, protein-rich, gut-lining foods on the list. Eggs. The reason they're on this list is not just because of the omega-3s, it's actually the choline. 2 eggs covers close to half your daily choline requirements. And choline is the direct building block of the phospholipid layer that lines your gut wall. And research shows that choline deficiency literally switches off the tight junction proteins, keeping your gut sealed. And around 90% of women are below the adequate intake. And 2 eggs a day is one of the most affordable fixes. Not all eggs are considered equal. The organic just means the hen is fed organic grain. It doesn't mean she saw the sunlight or foraged through a field. So I tend to go for pasture-raised eggs. And the studies show that there's 3 times more omega-3, there's 2.5 times more carotenoids, significantly more vitamin D and K2. The next one is yogurt, and I mean real pot-set yogurt, because it's one of the oldest functional foods on the planet. The lactic acid bacteria contains the enzymes that help pre-digest protein. And it also can help seed your gut with lactobacillus and feed some of the beneficial species downstream. And that's why across countries in the Middle East, like Turkey, they've actually served things like garlic yogurt alongside meat dishes. It's not just a tradition, it's digestion science before science came along. And with yogurt, you just need a spoon of it. So I tend to put a spoon of it on meat or my cereal, in smoothies. And recently I tried to make a Turkish dish. It's a yogurt soup, yalla çorbası. And it was generally one of the most comforting, gut-building foods that I've ever made. And real transformation doesn't come from overhauling your entire life overnight. It comes from small, specific habits and swaps that compound over time. If this video helped you, help me show up every week by leaving a comment or just even liking the video, because we're in this together and I want to be of service to you. So start with just one this week. Maybe it's coleslaw, and then next week you might add beans to some of your meals. And then you can add mushroom or egg or some yogurt, just one at a time, small additions. consistent habits. And if you love this one, you're going to love my next video. You won't want to miss it. It's all about the fiber secrets that social media is getting completely wrong. I'll leave it here for you. Go and click it before you forget. Until next time, love your guts.